Okay, I think the audio should be fine. Hope everybody's having a nice day so far. Beautiful weather, good mood, wherever you are. Can you guys confirm if the sound is good? Can you hear me well? Can you just Oh, fine. Okay. Now we got important news coming in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So let me just explain what I'm looking at. Just very quickly. Gonna be straightforward and pretty simple. Now, I believe, because the DXY is coming into support, weekly 886, you saw the reaction of the previous weekly, which was very clean. What I liked about the previous reaction from this weekly was that we actually did consolidate a few days before actually hitting it. As you can see over here, we consolidated for about 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then on the 5th day we wicked into the weekly, and then we had a reversal, moving back down in the middle of the parallel channel, retraced to the golden pocket, and then having the move down, and then retracing to test the mid of the parallel channel, and then having the move down. So this was quite interesting for me, that it was so clean as price action over here. And what I don't like at the moment, that we're moving down pretty fast. That's something that I don't like, to be honest with you. So this is something to be aware of about the DXY. But it is coming into the level that we've been interested for quite a while, so gotta see what happens there. And also the CPI is coming out, so it makes sense for me to bounce at that level. So in a confluence to that, I would look for shorts on Euro USD, but we're gonna go into depth about that in a few minutes. Well, I'm looking also, if we actually lose this weekly, because we have already done a sweep, we have swept the highs, we have swept the lows, and also what I don't like as well in terms of a context is that this rise over here on the dollar is being a partial rise, okay? So usually when you're trading a parallel channel and you get a partial rise to, let's say over here, okay, so in this case, you sweep the highs, then you sweep the lows, you make over and then under, and then you make this partial rise, okay? That's not something that I would like to see in terms of a development. I would much prefer to see if this thing actually came above and then went back in. That's something that I prefer to see than a partial rise, because usually when you get a partial rise or partial decline, it usually is a sign of a bit more of a bearish sign, but it's something that you have to be cautious. It's not something that you have to take 100% into consideration. It's something that you need to be aware of in most cases. So yeah, in this case, you get a partial rise, you just have to be very careful. Because as I said, the main reason we got this reaction over here was because we had these consolidations days before we hit the exact level. Okay, so in this case over here, as you can see, we're just moving back down straight forward. So maybe we're not gonna get the same thing, but who knows? I'm saying again, my preference here is to see a bounce from the 886 in the weekly. Bounce to where I would really like to see some kind of a deviation from this parallel channel. I mean, we've been watching this channel since pretty much December 2023, so we just gotta see what happens. I would really like some kind of a deviation then coming back in, either to the downside or from the upside. That doesn't really matter. I would just like to see a deviation coming in play. And if we actually get a legitimate breakdown from this, I'm looking forward to this level right here, the weekly, as well as some kind of a imbalance area. So yeah, that's my next support if we actually lose this level. And also keep in mind that on the higher time frames, we're still coming into support level. If you take a look, let's say in the 2 weekly time frame, okay, you're still kind of back testing these highs. Okay, so as you can see, these highs were resistance from 2015. So if you just mark out this level, okay, it's just simple as that. It is just like back testing the same level. So it makes sense for me to find support in that area, but if we don't, we don't. It is what it is. Simple as. Anybody got any questions about the DXY? Anybody want to speak something, want to add something, please feel free to do so. I'm more than open to talk about any ideas about this. So, want to comment about something, feel free to do so. We have and monthly levels. So about the monthly level, yeah. So about the monthly level, what to be honest with you, about the monthly levels, I like to view the monthly levels on the dollar when the monthly closes. I don't like to view them in terms of a daily or intraday price action, because I prefer the weekly levels on the intraday and the weekly time frame as a whole, because they're much more accurate, to be honest with you. So if you take a look, let's say at this level right here, if you take a look at this monthly, defended, then we actually did close a monthly below that, but then on the next one we just got a bounce. And then on this monthly over here, it wasn't even reached. Why? Because the weekly was before that. So yeah, be aware of them. I mean, it's good to be aware of them, but I'm just not putting that much pressure into them, to be honest with you. And also, if you take a look at this weekly level, if you mark out this week right here, this low, it's actually coinciding with it. So on the weekly time frame, it's a good liquidity sweep in some. So this could be a third touch setup. It's possible, not 100%, but be aware of that. And also, what you can classify this as, if you view this as some type of correction, you can view this in terms of a simple ABC waves. So what I mean by that is, let's say A, B, C in A, B, C. So just ABCs inside of ABCs. So if you take a look, let's say A, B, C, A, B, C, and just ABCs into ABCs, you know. So you can be looking at this. Okay, so it makes sense, like because this is a very complex correction for the dollar, in my opinion. It's this visually, purely visually, it's not some kind of an impulsive scenario. It's purely a correction, so purely visibly just like ABCs into ABCs, to put it that way. But yeah, it's as simple as that. Now we're gonna move on. We're gonna check the Bitcoin chart for a second. Now what I'm looking at is that's a very similar scenario if you take a look in terms of a market structure. So yeah, you sweep the lows, then you sweep the highs. So as you can see, the dollar, it has partial rise over here. Okay, so this thing over here could be a partial decline for Bitcoin, and it can just run up. Okay, I mean, it's possible. It's not this is not a place where you should look for longs. I'm just saying it's a similar market structure, but just inverted. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it is similar. Okay, just the pattern of the market structure, the way it is. So yeah, what you need to be aware of, that we're coming into the value area, half the range, and also the golden pockets area. If you take a look from this high to that low, this is the place. So that's not a place where you should look for longs. But we have the news coming out, so I don't encourage you to take positions before the news. I believe the best places where you can look for longs or for shorts is at the outer boundaries of the value area high. If you, let's say, sweep the Monday high, enter liquidity in next session, point of control right above that level. So if you take a look at the next sessions, let me just check something quickly. Yeah, so you have this next session at 31094, and also it's right above this Monday high. So we gotta see. What I don't like, to be honest with you, okay, if you take a look on the TPO, okay, so on Monday you left a poor low, on Tuesday you left a poor low,
and today you have a poor low as well. So this is a series of poor lows, and I know a lot of people are actually looking in some kind of a trend line. I don't know how to call it, but I know a lot of people are looking at this, I think. So if this thing actually breaks and comes into the weekly open daily, you can be looking for a long setup into that area. Or even better, if you actually sweep the Monday low. If you sweep the Monday low and tap it to the daily, that's another long opportunity as well. Where you can take it to the monthly high. So you can be viewing just simply this is a a range. I mean range inside of the range. We're generally in a range, so your best trade is gonna be in the outer boundaries. Everybody that's been inside of Discord knew very well how we have traded this range. We had a long from here, short from here, short from here, short from here, and we actually had a long from the Monday low as well. So we have traded this range pretty perfectly on the BTC, I would say. So I believe the best position on the chessboard, to put it that way, is if you actually look for short above the Monday high or for long below the Monday low. These are the best places in my opinion. And also what I'm looking at, if you actually lose this low, because it's a very well defined low, if you take a look at the TPO time frame, to the TPO chart, so if you take a look, that's the low on the 30th of June. So we're talking about this low. If you actually go below this low, there's no support until the next level. What I mean by that next level is this next point of control, 28,800. So if you lose this low, you can easily move back down into the next point of control down there. So if you're looking for a short setup in terms of a risk reward, when you take the swing failure pattern, I prefer to take it on 30 minutes. Your invalidation has to be defined by the wick that we can create possibly. So yeah, you're just gonna be targeting this place. So it's gonna come out about 1 to 9, 1 to 8, maybe something like that. We just have to see how it goes. And then for the long setup, if you take a look, if you take a position actually, let's say over here, the next session point of control, and your stop is on that low, and your general take profit is gonna be the Monday high, 1 to 2, still good. So yeah, these are the reasonable things in my opinion. These are the best setups on Bitcoin. Intraday, if you take a look on the 15-minute time frame, if you take a look at the lows, so that this low is untouched, this low is untouched, this low, this low, this low. So you have a lot of trailed stops on the way up. So if you generally start to move down, you're just gonna sweep them quickly, okay? And you can create some kind of a bullish divergence. So take a look at the CVD when you're looking to take this trade. I'm talking about the long. So if you have a bullish divergence, that's gonna be an extra confluence overall building, let's say from this low. So if we take a look on the order flow, how does it look right now on Bitcoin? Okay, so at the moment you're forming some bearish divergences, as you can see. So yeah, at the moment we're forming bearish divergences, but because we're before the news, I'm not gonna open any trade. That's on the inverse pair. If you take a look at the tether pair, we don't have it on tether pair, but if we take a look, let's say on Binance, we do have bearish divergence, so we can get a drop. Most likely, we can get a nice drop to the downside. But because we're before the news, I don't like to trade before news. Yeah, I just don't like to trade before news. And also keep in mind that we have a next point of control here, so maybe tap it, then move back up. We have to see. If I'm gonna take any trade, it's gonna be after the news comes out. Even if I miss something, I don't really care. My Monday long is printing, so pretty much I've closed 80% of it at the moment, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah. Okay, so we're forming a bigger bearish divergences as well. So if you take a look, let's say at this high compared to the current price action, we are forming this. Interesting.
Could it be leading? Yeah, it can be leading. Is it worth to trade bearish divergence before the news? Well, if you're a risk taker, you can do it, but me personally, I'm not interested in just like taking every single opportunity. I want to take the best of the best. So, and generally, in my opinion, let's say if we talk about Bitcoin is gonna provide you with a solid setups, maybe between 3 and 6 each week. So your best setups are gonna be anywhere between 3 and 6. Of course, you can take 20 setups on Bitcoin. Of course, there's opportunities all the time, but in the end of the day, you just want to trade the way you know how to trade. So let's say for me personally, I just want to take the best ones, you know. I'm not interested in shooting with a machine gun. I want to be with a sniper, just do headshots all the time. I'm interested in having 80-90% win rate and just taking the solid setups. That's what I'm interested in. I don't like to lose, I want to win, so I want to take the best of the best. Of course, you can get a drop from here because you have these bearish divergence, but then you can like stop these longs since the beginning of the day and just tap the next point of control, then maybe have a rise. That's absolute possibility, but I'm just not interested in taking this trade. But you are having bearish divergence. And coming back down over here to this area, you're gonna clean all these longs basically, because if you take a look at the net longs, they're generally increasing and they're not being stopped out. Like there hasn't been a big chunk of longs being stopped out. If you take a look, like big increase, small chunk being stopped out, big increase, small chunk, huge increase of longs, pretty much since the Asia close, to put it that way. So yeah, since 6 a.m. something like that. So yeah, London has a lot of longs, pre-New York as well, so be aware of them. That they can be just like if you flush them out, it's gonna present you with an opportunity to exchange hands, to put it that way. And about the net shorts, you can see they're like pretty flat. They haven't been shorting a lot, to put it that way. But yeah, that's about Bitcoin. I believe the best short is gonna be up here and the best long is gonna be down here. So just be aware of that. Now about Ethereum, what I would like to see, the upper range point of control being tapped. I've been talking about it yesterday inside the Discord. That's what I wanted to see. Tap it and then move back down. And actually on yesterday, we did bounce from the fresh weekly open. Okay, and also it was a golden pocket as well. If you take a look, let's say from this low. Okay, so the golden pocket in the weekly, and we had a move up. And generally, because I'm looking at this whole section as a range, let me just zoom out on the 4-hour time frame and let me just show you. I'm looking at this whole place being a range, and if you take a look at the fixed range, okay, so the value area high is coming there as well, so you can like tap it and maybe come back down to the point of control, then move back down to the value area low possibly. Now, what I don't like in terms of market structure and what I like to be swept, because there's a lot of liquidity, is below this trend line. I know there's a lot of stops below these equal lows. So we have 3 equal lows, just like here. Okay, so I would like them to be swept. And also you can see on every drop you didn't quite clear the previous low. And what I mean by that, so let's say on the first drop over here, on this drop you didn't clean out this low from here. Then on this drop you didn't clean this low. On this drop you didn't clean the first low and the second low. So I believe there's gotta be a lot of stops there. Yeah, that's about Ethereum. Pretty simple, I would say. And also this long setup is gonna trigger only if you have an opportunity to take it. And what I mean by opportunity, the strategy that you want to be using when you take this is gonna be a swing failure pattern on the 1 hour, because on Ethereum I would like to see them on the 1 hour. And also, as you can, as everybody that's been in the Discord knows very well, that we have had a short since 1938. We closed most around this area, so I still like this area to be tapped, so I'm still letting my short ride. About ES, just very quickly about ES, what I'm looking at. So we had this third touch setup over here where we actually cleaned the liquidity from the 16th of June. We cleaned it on 30th of June. Then we had to move back down. Here is where we closed the majority of the profits. That's what's been going on inside the Discord. And since then, we just had this rise. At the moment, we have broken out the range value area high. So it's not looking very bearish. But if you come below the value area high, it's gonna be looking bearish. Because also what you want to be aware of about the ES is that at the moment you're trading above the previous day values. So you're gonna have 80% setup on the ES. If you don't know what the 80% setup is, take a look at the videos on the channel. There's an explanation. So if you come into previous day values, you're gonna have a rotation into the previous day value area high, value area low. So yeah, I believe the previous day value area high is over here at 44.60 or something like that. Yeah, that's where the previous day value area high is. And if you come into that, you can be looking at rotation at least to 44.20, something like this. So it can provide you with a solid 20 bucks drop, something like that. So yeah, you can take advantage of that. PayPal is back inside the range, which is good. And yeah, this is gonna be the chart which I'm looking at. Okay, we got the news in the next 3 minutes. Let's see what happens. Anybody got any questions, wants to speak about anything, just let me know. I explained about the DXY in the beginning of the video, my friend. If you want, you can rewind it to the first 5-6 minutes. That's where I explained my views on the DXY at the moment. So I believe you want to check that. What do you expect, like, fundamentally? Fundamentally, for which asset, Victoria? Fundamentally for the dollar. Well, fundamentally for the dollar, speaking in terms of interest rates, what I can say in terms of interest rates, usually money flow where you have higher interest rates. So at the moment, what I would say is that fundamentally speaking, the European Union and the British Central Bank, we're gonna continue increasing the rates, and where you have higher interest rates, this is where money are interested in. So fundamentally speaking, if they have higher interest rates, there's gonna be movement of money from the dollar into the euro and GBP. So if that's the case, the dollar is gonna keep dropping. I'm talking about the DXY. So fundamentally speaking, that's the way it works. Okay, check the move up. That's where the news comes out. Here the ES cleanses these highs. The DXY is dropping into the weekly. Let's see what happens. Let's see the result of the news. CPI is lower than expected. Let me just open something. Finally. Thanks, Gold. Thanks for the payday, buddy. Oops. Let me just take a look what's going on. Okay. Now let's just wait, and let's wait 30 seconds to pass. 13:33. Let's see what happens then. Let me take a look at the volume. I believe it has to be super low at the moment, so getting a breakout on super low volume on ES. As you can see, it's like super tight, so this can be like a super fake out on ES. And also keep in mind my general target still remains this on ES, 45.44. I mean, even if we don't get it today, I would like to get it hit this month by the end of it. So Bitcoin not doing much at the moment. We got a breakout of the Valeria high. And as I told you, you don't want to be taking trades before the news. Even though we had a bearish divergence, still. Laugh longs. Generally backtest the previous selling tail, moving back down. Let's see. Maybe we can do something. Yes, yes. Let's take a look in 5 minutes. Did it clean that high? Okay, there you go. Yeah. I'm short on that. I mean, nice select sell. You can look to take it down here, but your first general take profit is gonna be this place because the previous day point control. So yeah, your general trade is gonna be looking like that. And keep in mind, you just have to lose the view up. Yep, just entered. Okay. Now, let's see what happens. It's either gonna be a win or it's gonna be a stop. You don't know. Is it a good trade? I would say yeah. Do you have the reasons to answer? I would say yeah. So So let's just see what happens. Just check my entry. 30,755. 30,755. Not the best entry, I would say, but it's fine. Now the reason I like this high is because, as you can see, the value I have the candle is at the high. The closer the low, you got quite a few longs coming in. Let me just change the... If you take a look on 10 ticks, okay. 10 ticks, you have banking bounces, the highs. The funny thing is you got a lot of shorts coming into the view up. If we get stopped out, this is gonna be the reason. At the moment you're inside the golden pocket. If you take a look on the 1 minute time frame, yeah, we can argue if you beat the golden pocket, most likely we're gonna get stopped out, but hey, it is what it is. Generally, I still believe this is gonna be the best trade. And as I explained, for BTC, you haven't swept a single low today. You got all these trailing people. So once you, I believe, to put it that way, I believe once you stop out the first portion of longs, you're just gonna create some kind of a cascade down to the previous dead point of control. That's my personal belief. So we just gotta see what happens. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Let me know in the chat. Let's light up the chat, okay? Even on this drop, you didn't sweep the first high, first low. So you got all these lows. It just makes sense for me to sweep them. Either now or after New York Open. But I just gotta see what happens. Okay. I'm gonna hide this for now. Move into the 3 minutes just to check something. Now let's come back into ES. Now ES swept the high. Now it did it. The XY doesn't have any reaction at the moment from that weekly. I'm gonna set one alert if we actually get above it. Let's take a look on the Tether pair. If there's any difference in there. Okay, there you go, the sweep. Nice sweep. Nice sweep. If you take a look at the candle, take a look at the 5-minute time frame. That's short for me. I'll do it quick. Let's see what happens. If you measure as well, let's just make something. I believe the 50 should be over there. Yeah. It would be nice to, if we get stopped out on this one on ES, I would look to open new positions on ES after New York opens, to be honest with you. I'm gonna set one alert over here. Okay, let's take a look at BTC. Not done much. Increase in the open interest. Who is coming in on the Tether pair? Net longs? Again, net longs. Let's take a look in the 1 minute. Okay, there you get the drop on ES. Come on, accelerate, my friend. You're losing the first wick before the impulse higher. Entering into the single prints. Should be single prints now. Yeah. I just want to get one more dip inside. I'm gonna start booking some quick profit on ES. BTC retraced back down to entry. Let's see what's going on inside the order flow. Nothing much at the moment. But yeah, getting this breakout on yes. The reason, one of the main reasons I took this short, as I explained, you're getting a breakout without any volume. So market is closed. I mean, okay. I'll set one alert at 4500. Okay, and also you can see on the 30-minute time frame of the CPI chart on Bitcoin, the current price is back inside of the volatile TPO. We actually had a bounce, came back up, moved back down. It's good. It's looking good in terms of our trade. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to sweep the daily low at the moment. Yeah, it just makes perfect sense for me. So as I said, your first place is gonna be this one over here. Yeah, 500. Yeah, that's the place. Okay, so mark this thing out. Chill, relax. Come on, yes, move down, buddy. Should we see what's going on Twitter? Let's just take a look at Twitter. Brother Pepe is killing it.
Level supercars and they went crazy.
I said what I said because I'm on a status now that I don't have those entry-level supercars and that kind of stuff. Some people might feel some kind of way, but every single person that's trading now, bro, like where I'm at now, they're trying to get to. As far as like being financially free, having your own time back, buying the kind of car that you want, having the kind of house that you want, having your kids right. I've already been through that. I'm just like not really fascinated by entry-level supercars anymore. I'm into things that are a bit more limited, things that you barely ever see. I have the 1 out of 18, 812 over there. You're only gonna see 18 of those inside the entire world. Those kind of things fascinate me now because at the same time, like I'm trying to deal with a different level of people now, which is what I'm into. So I never feel like me being super blunt and super honest at times is wrong. I'm just speaking my opinion.
You did a tweet not long ago.
Will be revealed. More connections.
Oh, buddy. Okay. $4500 for ES. Come on, bro. Don't betray me. I want to take a look at the algorithm. Come on, guys. What is the algorithm doing? We gotta fix the algorithm, guys. The algo. The algorithm is moving the market. Oh my god. The algorithm. Oh my god. Okay. The algorithm. Oh my god. What a pathetic way to look at the market. Can't rely on the algorithm. You know what? In my opinion, by the way, there's a lot of controversy about this thing with the algorithm. Does it exist or doesn't? In my personal opinion, if we speak about some kind of algorithm, yes, there is a place where a market is gonna be magnetized to go to. It's gonna be magnetized to run into, of course, but there are thousands of algorithms. Okay, there are literally thousands of algorithms running the market all the time. You can't say, oh, the algorithm did this, did that. It's not acceptable because a few reasons. Reason number one is that you're actually not taking responsibility for your own trades. Reason number two is that you're actually avoiding taking this accountability, and you're saying, oh, the algorithm did this, did that. Bro, come on, grow up. You're not 12 anymore. You can't say the algorithm did me wrong, I didn't do this because of algorithm didn't do that. Literally, you can't. It's unacceptable. So in order for you to sit down and say, oh, the algorithm did X, Y, and Z, it's just pathetic. I mean, think about it. Let's say you're in school and you don't pass an exam, and your dad comes to you, why didn't you pass the exam? Oh, algorithm, dumbass. So yeah, you can't say algorithm did me wrong or anything like this. I'm gonna read the algorithm and do whatever it says. So it's just pathetic, in my opinion. And also this guy ICT, he's been saying, oh, I'm reading the tape and all that, order flow. In reality, he's not reading order flow, he's not reading the tape, because tape and order flow is what we're looking at. So yeah, okay, there we go. We're gonna book profit number 1 OES. There we go. Put that $200 inside the bank. The short is printing as well. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. We're gonna book. At the moment, 50% of that booked. 50% of this is booked, and it's literally took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3, 15 minutes. 15 minutes for a quick buck. What's your final target for BTC? My friend, for the upside or to the downside in terms of a final target? Down. Well, the final target, it can go down. It can go down to 28.8 if we talk. Even I don't want to be saying that. I don't want to be saying this for multiple reasons. Okay, so let's just take a quick look and let's just speak about Bitcoin, purely for Bitcoin. Okay. And also this point of control, also keep in mind that it's always moving. So that's the reason I'm not booking profit here. So yeah, just kind of close this for now. Now, I want to be very specific and explain it very well and understandable. So If there is something not clear, just let me know about that. Now, the first thing which I am looking for in terms of upside, I really want to sweep these highs over here, and there's naked session point of controls up there. So it's gonna be very nice if we actually come and go into that area. But I believe there's a lot of people that are talking about that area. So usually when you have a lot of people talking about specific plays on Bitcoin or any other assets, you're just most likely not gonna go there. So in my personal opinion, there's a good probability that we have seen the early high end. I know it's a bold statement to do, I know I have reputation online, but I'm just saying that, throwing that in there. I have my arguments. I'm gonna make a separate video with my arguments. I even tweeted about it last week. I said early highs in most likely. So there's multiple reasons for that, and I have my explanations. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about that. But I want to explain something. If we actually lose the value area low of the range, along with the weekly and the daily, the chart is gonna be looking super ugly, okay? The chart is gonna be super ugly. If you take a look on the weekly candles, if the current candle rolls over and loses the low of the candle, and actually even goes below the previous week low, you have this empty gap, okay, in terms of a weekly time frame. So if you take a look at this gap over here, we have this huge gap, okay? So the first area of support which I'm gonna be looking at is this next point show at 28.8 as I mentioned. Now the question that comes is this gonna be like a small bounce or not? It's gonna be like a reversal, and then we're gonna see that upper area being hit. These are questions which actually nobody can really answer, but what I can say is that I like to view the market in terms of accumulation and distribution, okay? So if you take a look, let's say over here, let's speak about that quickly. Here, accumulate big bullish divergences, and this can be spotted on the CVD. When you have big bullish divergences, this is saying that, boom, there is limits which are absorbing markets. Okay, cool. What happens when you have the opposite? You have limit sells being absorbed by market buys. So this is meaning somebody that has the money is capable of moving markets, is doing something. So let's say when you have big bullish divergences like over here, this means somebody is accumulating, and you can spot them and you can participate with them, along with them, and you can make money with them. So yeah, did we took this long from the exact low? Yeah, we did. What happens then? You come above, you make a new high, you swing for the pattern that, you range for a little bit, and then you pump. But you pump up to where? You pump on fucking, I believe this high over here was on Friday, Thursday, Friday. So Friday highs, never trust them. Friday highs, Friday lows, breakouts on Fridays, don't trust them. But a lot of people trusted that, and we had a trapped daily profile, not just like some divergence, not just a lot of people buying there. We had a trapped volume, meaning, take a look at the daily candle over there. This daily candle, all the volume was up here. Let me just zoom in so it can be even more clean. So all the volume of this candle on Friday, 14th of April, was up at 30,900, and it closes back down here. This is telling you have trapped people there. Conclusion of that, let me just go back. Yeah, so then again on the Friday, in your call points and stuff like that, you get a drop, and then on Monday, actually sorry, Sunday to Monday, you get this huge move down, and then on Tuesday you retrace. Where do you retrace to? To the golden pocket, of course. But the retrace is just to backtest the whole distribution range. So what I mean by that, you accumulate here, you distribute here, and you redistribute here, then you backtest the distribution zone, and have another move down. Here you accumulate again, and you redistribute again. You accumulate again, you redistribute again. Where? And just take a look at the highs, the key highs, key lows. Bullish divergence, bearish divergence, pump,
drop. People selling short FCC or whatever, gotta move up. So the question is, if this thing breaks to the downside, what's gonna happen? So yeah, even if you come down into the next point of control, you can be looking at, let's say, get a move up to test, let's say, the range point of control, e.g. the distribution level, because this is the place where you have the most amount of volume. You just have to see where this level is gonna be formed, because as I said a few minutes ago, the current point of control, the range is all the time shifting, all the time moving. So it's not something constant, okay? It's moving all the time. So yeah, be aware of this. Now, next thing, if you move above this point of control and you have a full range rotation, most likely, yes, this has been a reversal. And then you come above and you wreck more people. So if price action, if you take a look at the deviation pockets first, let me just take a quick look. Even if you put like that, you can see the deviation pocket down here is pretty much the same level as the next point of control. So in terms of theory, if you move down and you come back above this, then you're gonna be targeting, let's say, at least this. You have 80% chance of hitting the midpoint of the deviation pocket. Then you can be looking at the other level. And if actually price action looks like that, okay, keep in mind that on this way up, it has to be an impulsive move, by the way, because we're gonna just be squeezing shorts. But it's gonna wreck a lot of people if you move down and move up, and then you have another move down. This is gonna wreck a lot of people, you know. So but it already happened once, okay? So this is a similar scenario what I'm talking about. If you take a look at this, have the move up, have the move down, test the distribution range. So hope it makes sense. If something is not very clear, just let me know and I can clarify it. And we got stopped back to the entry after booking this profit down here, so I'm gonna delete this for now. I'm gonna stick on the 2-hour time frame, and because we already rejected once here, I'm just gonna wait for the New York open or up at the yeah, I am still in the Bitcoin short. There's no reason to close it. Didn't book any profit, didn't do anything. Literally no reason to close that. Yes, we did make a new low, but just the risk reward, because my entry was a little bit lower because of the spread. I'm really not interested in booking like a super small profit just because we make a new low. It's not worth it. I prefer to take a loss if that happens. I mean, if it happens, it happens. What can we do, right? Here these bits in Ethereum. I draw a wick off on the weekly, but need to complete the UTAD. Just take a look quickly. Are you talking about this being some kind of a week of distribution, or you said the weekly actually? Sorry. Let's take a look at the weekly.
I think you're talking about this, yeah? The UTAD. But on weekly time frame, the thing with the weekly time frame is that I don't understand if you're talking about this. Let's name this zone 1, or we're talking about this whole range. Let's name this zone 2. Which one are we talking about, zone 1 or zone 2? The whole range. Whole range, so I guess this. Yeah, well, sometimes, to be honest with you, sometimes it doesn't have to do the UTAD, if we're talking about that. Sometimes it doesn't have to do it, like, it's not, most of the time it's not gonna be like a perfect picture, 100%. So, I can give you a few examples if you want. Let's just take a look. Coming up here, let's say, okay. Bitcoin doesn't like to do the UTAD, so I would say Ethereum doesn't like to do it as well. So if we look at this as some kind of a week off, you just get the first and the second push, and you didn't do the UTAD here. Okay, if we just flip it, you didn't do it. Okay. Same thing for the 69K. You didn't do it. You make high, then you make a new high. You didn't do the UTAD. So I don't think Bitcoin and Ethereum like to complete the full formation of 100%. So yeah. I think these examples support my thesis that they don't complete. And also keep in mind that on the week of specific tests, a lot of people that look at it. You can use week off combined with CVD, I would say, because you're gonna spot the dynamic traders. If you're able to spot dynamic traders, you're gonna know where they accumulate and where they distribute, because that's what you're seeing in the end of the day. Like, you're spotting the bigger players, and the bigger players, they're the one that do move the market, to put it that way. What would you say about so? Interesting. Good question, my friend. I have interest in so, by the way. I do have interest in so, but at a bit lower levels. If you take a look at the so BTC, log scale. On log scale, I would like to see this level being hit. Okay. That's on so BTC. So yeah, I do have one alert here, and also we left like pretty equal lows here, I would say. It's back inside this range. Like a bit of mixed signals right now, the so BTC chart, but I still believe we can see this level being hit. If you take a look at so USDT on Binance, you did bounce from this daily level. You have flipped the point of control, the range. You can move up to 25-ish, I believe. In my personal opinion, I can say that this is most likely gonna go to 25-ish, because you have this equals high here. At least take them out, like go to 24. And also you can see the point of control just being flipped. And also if you take a look at the view up at this low, the yearly view up, the yearly anchored view up, it has served multiple times as an SNR flip, like support, 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 flipped into resistance, move back down, resistance, pull back, flipped into support, and having another move up. So yeah, this can easily move up another 5-10%, something like that. It just makes sense. So
Yeah. But if SOBT is coming back into that area, most likely so USDT most likely it's gonna come back into this imbalance area, to be honest with you. Should have this imbalance area untouched. So yeah. No worries. What about taking Bitcoin high we put in 30 minutes ago? Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, if you take it out, you take it out. I mean, if it happens, buddy. Yeah. Anybody got any questions or anything you want to speak about? We're almost at the selling tail. Yeah. But usually what I would like to say as well, usually when you have like a big selling tail and buying tail, it's good to test them in some kind of way. The way selling tail or buying tail is being defined, if you actually leave 3 blocks. So let's say over here yesterday, if you take a look, we left 1, 2, 3, now 6, 9. So out of these 9 blocks, as you can see, the letter G. Let me just zoom in. Okay, so the letter G, you can see it was a 9 block originally. Then we destroyed 3 and we left 6. And then you actually had the drop. So can it be a similar thing? Of course it can. Can we make a new high and just delete the selling tail? Of course we can. For me, it was just worth the risk, to put it that way. Of course, if we get stopped and we have another presented swing failure pattern here, I'm gonna take it as well. I don't mind. I mean, in the end of the day, that's what trading is. You gotta be okay with taking risks. You know? It is what it is. You just keep getting increase, net longs, open interest, and you're just leaving this poor low so all day long. Like, that's poor low, that's poor low. This low is not that poor, to be honest with you, but this low is very, very poor. This one over here is like useless. So if we talk about it, it's like a high hit rate level. So yeah, it makes sense for me to go and sweep it, you know. And as you can see, you have all these longs coming in. So from here to here, you have 10 million positive delta. Where is that stop? Most likely down here.
stop them out and have this flush down to the previous day point of control. This is the thing that's making sense for me. I'm just playing out the things that do make sense for me, and statistically speaking are high hit rate. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. Oh, the gentleman tagged me on Twitter. Thank you, my friend. But yeah, about the UTAD, we talked about it. I think we have clarified it by now. Yeah, it just doesn't have to do it. I'll show you the examples. If it does it, it does it. If it doesn't, I do like to see on Ethereum 2.3k being hit. But do you know what doesn't give me this confidence? Because I'll just show you something. If you view this as a range high, okay, this being a range high this week, you can see first time it got swept, then we made a fair auction, we moved back down. If you take a look at this week right here, sorry, just zoom in. If you take a look at this week on the 10th of April, the week on the 10th of April is going above this candle on the 16th of May, and the candle on 16th of May doesn't have a wick to the upside. So I don't know if we should view this as a range high or this is a range high, but I think we get even more insight from the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, on the daily time frame we can even argue that this is the range high. On the weekly time frame, I do suggest that this thing here is the weekly time frame high. Okay, that's what I would suggest. Talking about this week right here, so we're gonna see. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Remaining in this short trade for now, it just doesn't make sense for me to close it. I'll just take a look at something. Okay, so on the tether pair they had super a lot of shorts 8 here. A lot of shorts 8 here, which is not the best sign. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. If I get stopped, I get stopped. If I don't, I don't. The XY continues dumping down. Yeah guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If anybody got any questions, now is the time before I close up the stream. Just like a quick summary for those that weren't here. We took short at 45.09, closed it back down at 4,500, stopped at entry. So this was the ES trade that we took. Now about BTC, we're in a short from 30,750. We got a little bit fucked by the spread, but it's fine. What to do? We gotta see what happens next. If we get stopped, we get stopped, but it is what it is. Gotta play the game. Thank you for watching the stream, everybody. I wish you happy trading, good luck, and best wishes.